It's time to crown a champion here for Season 3 of the In the Pits News Truck Series as we head to Chicagoland, where somehow we've resurrected this track from the dead. We've pretty much taken it, propped it back up for now, weekend at Bernie style. We're going to run a race here tonight. Tonight's race is the 988 Suicide Hotline 225, where we will see the stars of the In the Pits News Truck Series and perhaps Tyler Watermullen take to the circuit. Right now, it's just me in the booth. I'm waiting patiently to see if we've got our broadcast colleague, Jonathan Canfield, who's supposed to be in the booth with me today. Adam Kuhn, of course, is not with us today. Adam is off having a nice, fun time doing whatever Adam Kuhn does. So just shouting out to Adam for everything he does for the league, everything he does for the broadcast here on JCTV, and just hoping he has a nice night off here tonight. But for now, it's just me, Dawson Allen, obviously, as always, as we're getting ready for this race to happen here in Chicago. It's definitely going to be fun. A kickoff for this 5-race chase. 10 drivers competing for a championship. And so while we sit here, let's go ahead and take a look at your playoff field and how they sit as they enter this race. There you see Jonathan Parker, the regular season champion, is currently first in points after the reset. Michael Kruger there in second. Justin Duran and David Durand in 3 and 4. Alonso Chicano, your defending series champion, is fifth here on the playoff grid. There's Ryan Bogey, Alex Kerfin, and it's Dalton Kelly, Andrew Elias, and of course Matthew Stotts. After the race, we did the math, we calculated it. Ethan Fonseca Moreno was 1 point short of making it. Matthew Stotts wound up being that 10th and final playoff spot. You see there, that is your points grid. How they will be ready to rock and roll heading into this chase. Of course, 5 races is this championship battle. So you'll see 5 races left here in the season. We'll go ahead and get that schedule pulled up here for you. So that way you can oogle at it, you can look, you can go ooh, you can go ah. You can do whatever you want to do as we look at your season schedule. To close the season, of course, Chicagoland today. We go to Bristol next week, then Homestead, Martinsville, and we finish the season off once again at Kansas. It should be a fun one. Of course, plenty of action still left to go here in the In the Pits News Truck Series, and it all kicks off here tonight at Chicago. And so with that, let me look over at the sky here as we get ready for tonight's event. Drivers are practicing, getting ready to go. Got about 10 minutes left before things really kick off. So we see there at the top of the board, David Durand, Cameron Caldwell, then it's Andrew Elias, Alex Kerfin, Michael Kruger. That is your top 5. So while we wait, for the broadcast to go, let's see if we can get a hold of a certain driver who is here tonight, but is not racing for a championship. Hey, Josh Coppernoll, this is Dawson Allen up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Alrighty, well, tonight starts the chase. Unfortunately, you are not a part of it, unable to advance after Atlanta last week. However, you're looking to just finish this season off strong. What are you looking forward to here at Chicagoland? How this racetrack drives? It's almost like a pseudo plate race. You want to keep in the draft, but what are you looking forward to in tonight's race?
Just keeping the nose clean, Dawson. We're going to go out and do the best we can. Hopefully get a good finish out of this, but yeah, I'm not really sure. A lot of the regulars not here tonight because of being at the real life Rolex 24. But yeah, I see some opportunity right now last on the practice charts, but I haven't been out there drafting with anybody, just kind of turning some laps solo. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see where we're at in the race.
Well, of course, going to be not as big a field, but still, a lot of drivers really ready to compete with. What is your feeling and your notion going into this race, battling with these playoff drivers now, as they have now a quest for a championship that you have to manage while you race around them?
The goal remains the same. Just a little bit of a difference. Obviously, I don't want to wreck their truck, take them out of contention. But yeah, I mean, just same goal. Go out there, race with these guys week in and week out, pretty much all season long. So I'm very familiar with how they race, and I think we'll be fine on racing around them. Maybe give them a little bit more room than normal, but overall, it's the same goal.
Well, alrighty, Josh. Best of luck tonight. We'll see if we can get a word in with you later on. Maybe on the podium tonight, hopefully.
We'll see. Hopefully.
Alrighty, that's Josh Coppernoll, of course, the head honcho at JCTV, and of course, racing in the number 42 truck tonight. See if he can get a win done here tonight. So we'll banish him back to the Shadow Realm. And for some reason, Trading Paints is doing what Trading Paints does best, and that is not work. As you can see, the vehicles are still showing up as white. We're going to see if we can try to correct that, see if we can't get some actual paint schemes loaded in for these vehicles, because right now, everybody on pit road, as you can see, I can show you the names, and you can tell who they are, but paint schemes are not showing up, really. There's Michael Kruger, driver of the 14. He's got the playoff decals that you'll see on these trucks tonight. You can see the difference there. That 26 on the apron. So, your playoff drivers for this season, you will see on the ticker, they have that yellow gradient on their numbers. So that is one way to denote. But when you see them on track, you will see that orange spoiler on the back of the truck, the orange splitter on the front of the truck, and their windshield banners go orange to white with orange text comparative to the orange banners with the white text. So a little bit of a different way to see who is in the playoffs, and that's a perfect example right there. Seeing Michael Kruger's truck, we'll get a little more close-up look of him here as you see him going around through turn 2. You can see that banner right there. It's a white banner on the front, the orange spoiler, and the orange splitter on this number 14 blockbuster Chevy Silverado. So we'll definitely see a couple of these guys. We'll look and see, as you saw him spinning out there, you can see it on Jonathan Parker's truck as well, that number 81 mellow yellow Chevy Silverado. And something to mention, too, about this playoffs is, the amount of Chevys that are in this championship hunt, 8 total Silverados going for the championship here. Only 2 of them being Ford F-150s. That is the 44 of Andrew Elias, and then I believe the 21 of Ryan Bogey. So only 2 Fords, a lot of Chevys in the field ready to do battle here tonight. And so, some other storylines coming into this race. Obviously, last week's race finish was nothing short of controversial. A lot of tempers flared. It was very unhappy, so to speak. So we will definitely see if we can get a word in with our race winner from last week, Justin Durand, if he's here right now. That is, obviously, we did not get to speak with him last week, so let's see if he's there. Hey, Justin Durand, this is Dawson Allen up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Alrighty, Justin. Well, we didn't get to talk to you last week. Obviously, a lot of, controversy is the way to put it. Definitely a lot of issues surrounding the finish of last week's race, but it is a new week, it is a new race, and it is the start of the chase. So looking forward to that. You've got 2 wins on the season so far. You come into this third in points. What is your outlook coming into this championship hunt? How do you feel getting ready to go for it here to try for a championship once again?
First off, sorry for being AFK when you called me in last week. And then, regarding the chase, those playoff points are going to be big. We kind of closed up the gap on the 81 who won the regular season title, deservedly so. Got a lot of good tracks coming up here. I honestly like all 5 of them coming up, so that's going to be a boost of confidence for me. Just hoping to string together some good stage points, which are going to be crucial every race the last 5 this season, and then hopefully string together good finishes like I had last year in the playoffs. Last year in the playoffs, what killed me was no playoff points coming in. So let's see if we got a different fortune this time around.
Yeah, indeed. But, you still were able to get enough momentum through the playoffs to win something. Of course, you won the Rookie of the Year last season, but now looking forward to doing more than that, obviously, looking to go for that championship. Good slate of tracks for you up ahead, and you've got some stiff competition, but you're not that far out of it. You've got a very good shot at it. So what are you realistically, what track do you have bookmarked as your race that you've kind of got as a mulligan almost, that you're looking at and you're thinking, okay, maybe not the best track for me and will probably be the one to throw away? Because I think I know what you're thinking, but I just want to get the word on what you're thinking.
In terms of like my performance, it probably would be Homestead. I mean, I like the track, but I just can't really figure it out to get the, I guess, race-winning pace. In both of my starts in this series there. But in terms of like how the race would go, I mean, I'm pretty sure you were thinking about Martinsville. That's always just going to be a huge question mark. I mean, we saw how last season was, just a big mess at the end, so that's going to be a huge wild card. I don't actually mind that track. I thought I had good speed there last year. I just kept getting caught in everything. So.
Well, alrighty. Well, 2 wins on the season thus far, getting ready to go for a second chance at a championship. That's Justin Duran. Best of luck out there tonight. We hope to talk to you later.
Appreciate it.
And as practice is going to wrap up, we'll get one last word in with one last driver, of course. Celebration in order for Cameron Caldwell. Recently promoted at his job, and we're going to get a word in with him. Hey, Cameron Caldwell, this is Dawson up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, alrighty, you were able to get a promotion at work, so you're starting off on a good note. But of course, not racing in the playoffs, you were unable to make the full championship schedule. So you forewent your eligibility, and that opened the door for some other drivers to make it in. But what are your thoughts heading into these final 5 races of the season, not only as a driver, but as essentially the owner of the league?
I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's a pretty strong chase field. So obviously, Parker is out ahead of everyone by a little bit, but that gap can be made up pretty easily in a race or two. So I think we could see a good battle for the points lead in a couple races, and should be pretty good. In terms of how I feel personally, honestly, I think I'm feeling pretty good about it. I like Chicagoland, and there's no pressure for me tonight because I don't have to worry about points or anything. Just go out and try to get a win. So I think that's kind of when I thrive, is when there's no pressure like that. So hopefully I can put a good run together and spoil the show tonight.
Well, even if you don't win, you have no pressure for points, but you do have the eligibility for the Dash for Cash program. Of course, the new program being introduced for the playoffs for non-playoff drivers. The highest scoring driver at the conclusion of this race that is not in the playoffs, of course, is going to have a shot for some cash and a chance to go on to a finale. We'll describe more of that later on in the broadcast, but for now, Cam, practice is getting ready to go underway. Hopefully it doesn't go like it went at work where you spilled that pizza all over the floor. A promotion at work and getting ready to go here at Chicago. Best of luck to you tonight, Cam.
Yep, screw you, and thanks.
And that is Cameron Caldwell, of course, of the In the Pits News Truck Series. Driver number 12. He was the season 1 champion. Unable to repeat last season, and of course now will not be racing for a championship this season. So far, the chances of a second repeat champion are currently up in smoke. Right now on track, Zach Probst is the fastest, or at least the first driver. He was the fastest off pit road, I should say, as he is currently making his way through the trial for the first time to set his first timed lap. So he will go to the top of the board. And if you look at the ticker, holy Jesus, finally, we have a racetrack where we have a track map that is actually the track map. It has been so long since we've been able to bust this thing out, and it's so nice to bust it out because it is such a beautiful feature. Cameron Coble, of course, also does the graphics. Everything you see on the broadcast is a courtesy of Cameron Caldwell. So I want to see a lot of thank you Camerons in the chat as well as everywhere else, because he has done a great job with everything, and we would not be where we are without the additions of Cameron Caldwell. So see, Zach Probst, 4th fastest. He'll spin it after he finishes his qualifying laps. We'll look to see somebody else on track currently working on their second lap. That's Nick Happyack, driver number 6. You saw him last night as a participant in the NAOR Talladega doubleheaders. I was a part of that as well. Things didn't go as well for me as I hoped they would, but at the same time, they could have been a lot worse. Happy Egg was a part of that as well, and he had a pretty decent run, and so he'll go to the top of the board here at that time with a 30.782. Very good going for that number 6. He puts it on pole for right now. Looking back for one of our playoff drivers, there's Dalton Kelly in the number 45 machine. Of course, he comes into his second straight playoff appearance. He was in the playoffs last season and had a really good shot at the title heading into Kansas after the win at Martinsville. But looking to build some momentum here. Currently sitting 8th in points, 30 points back of Jonathan Parker. So he's going to have some work to do to make up for it. But if there's anybody that I think can do that can overcome that adversity, I think that is Dalton Kelly. Very good racer and has a very possible shot at going after it and winning it all. So Dalton Kelly, 4th fastest at 30.808 is where he sits right now. Looking back, Michael Kruger, he only set a 30.865. That's up to 6th fastest for the 14 machine. Looking to some other drivers that are currently out setting their lap times. Looks like another playoff driver is currently out there getting ready to set his first timed lap. This is David Duran, driver the number 24. Of course, a 2-time winner here in the Into Pits News Truck Series. Able to score the victory at Daytona to start this season, and then he scored the win in the second race at Talladega. So definitely made himself known as a plate ace. But looking to see no plate races in this playoff, so he's definitely going to have his work cut out for him to try and make it through for the championship. But he's got a good starting position. He's 4th in the points, 17 points back of Jonathan Parker, so he's definitely got the chance to do it. So he'll cross the stripe the second time for his second lap, a 30.856. That will be good for the 7th fastest time, just over Michael Kruger. Looks like Nick Hapiak is going to hold off on that pole position. I see Josh Coppernoll coming to a stop. Might have had an issue on his second lap, so that will drop him. Jonathan Parker puts it second fastest there with a 30.795. And it looks like we have one last driver that is able to make a second lap here, and that is Matthew Stotts. Of course, they said eked his way in with Ethan Fonseca Moreno not scoring enough points to pass him. So he is your 10th and final championship driver, but with no bonus points, he has a long road ahead of him. He's got an uphill battle and then some if he wants to really make waves here in this championship battle, but he's got a good shot at doing that. So cross the stripe this time. He'll put down a 30.875, which is good for 10th fastest of the 19 drivers that are in the field. So with that, we've got our field set and ready to go. And that will end the qualifying session, and that will set our field for tonight's race. So with that, we will take a look at your starting lineup presented by MardonTechPCs.com. Nick Hapiak, Jonathan Parker make up the front row. Then it's Ethan Fonseca Moreno and Alex Kerfin back in row 2. In row 3 sees Dalton Kelly and Alonzo Chicano. Then in row 4 is Andrew Elias and David Durand. Rounding out your top 10 is Michael Kruger and Matthew Stotts, and that will move us to the rest of the field. Nathan Fuller 11th, Cameron Caldwell 12th. Josh Arnold is 13th, Ryan Bogey to his outside in 14th. Back in row 8, it's Roy Crump and Zach Probst. Row 9 sees Tyler Watermolen and Justin Durand, and then rounding out the field is Josh Coppernoll. He'll be starting shotgun after a poor qualifying attempt from that number 42. So with that, we've got our field set and ready to go. Lining up on the grid, getting ready to go. 19 drivers, as aforementioned, ready to do battle. 10 of those drivers, of course, in the playoff hunt. They have a chance to hunt for a championship. We'll take a look one last time before this race starts at your championship battle. So there is your points right now. Jonathan Parker comes into this race, the regular season champion and the points leader. 2,033 points after the reset. He looks to hold off that hard charge from Michael Kruger, Justin Durand, David Durand, all within a good striking distance here to start this start the chase, Of course, Alonzo Chicano, defending series champion. He won it in season 2. Looks to go back-to-back here this season. Ryan Bogey, with his win at Michigan, puts him in as that first wild card. Then you got Alex Kerfin, Dalton Kelly, Andrew Elias, and Matthew Stotts as the second and final wild card. He sees himself 10th in the points coming into this race. Of course, it's anybody's championship. Anything can happen in these 5 races, but Definitely some long shots there at the bottom. They're going to have to put some work in if they want a shot at winning this championship. So we'll pan back down to your field here. That is the wrong button. And we see Nick Happyack kind of blinking in and out of existence there. And so what we're watching for is we are watching some of these drivers here ready to do battle. Playoff guys, of course, are going to be ones to watch for sure. But somebody else that I want to keep an eye on, not in the playoffs, but in the field, the 62 is Zach Probst. He is currently 16th fastest. I am going to keep my eye on that 62 here. And as for a pick to win, I mean, we talked to him a little bit ago. It's hard to bet against him. Cameron Caldwell in the number 12 will be my selection as the driver to win tonight's event. And like I mentioned too, a chance to win some extra moolah with that Dash for Cash that's going on for all of the non-playoff drivers. $15 for the highest non-playoff driver at the conclusion of the race. Pace truck pulls off. Nick Happyack, Jonathan Parker, the front row. They are going to lead the field to the green flag. We are racing here at Chicago. As they fan out, heading down the back straightaway, 3 wide almost there. Here comes Jonathan Parker trying to make a move to the outside, and Nick Happyack for the race lead. As he will take the inside line, rolling it through 3 and 4 for the first time here tonight. Parker's trying to clear Kerfin for that second spot. Can't quite do it. And Nick Happyack is going to lead the first lap, but Parker now to the inside, trying to force the issue, see if he can't make the pass for the race lead. Something else I noticed too, Matthew Stott's way back in the back here. Already well further back than the field. Gonna look and see if something happened to that number 17 machine. Might have got the wall on the exit of 4, or just got loose. Oh, he hit the bump right there, got in the wall. That's exactly what happens here at Chicago. Running that top lane is dangerous because you can hit that bump right there. It'll send you up the track and can put you in the wall early on. Issues for Matthew Stotts. Not a good start to this race. Jonathan Parker working to the inside, and Nick Happyack going for this race lead. If he can get by that 6, he's going to try to clear and set sail. And we've seen him do that in many races this season for sure. It's something that we've almost become common to. Is that number 81 getting out front and then just leading the rest of the way. He's looking to do so to start these playoffs with a bang, but it's going to take a little bit of work to get around this number 6. Take you to one of our onboard cameras back here in the background. That's Alonso Chicano, driver the number 25. That's the Celsius Lift Fit onboard camera as he looks to battle with Ethan Fonseca Moreno with David Duran to his outside right there, popping up in the screen. They are battling for this position here. Pretty tight racing between the two. But we see battle up front still going on. Here comes Alex Kerfin to the outside of Jonathan Parker going for second. If he can try to clear him and set his sights on getting by Nick Happyack, Kerfin would love to do that. Doing everything in his power to do so if he can, of course. Alex Kerfin coming into this race, 2 wins on his career. A winner at Michigan last season. And then a win earlier this year. Or at least I could have sworn it was both last season. Excuse me. It was at Charlotte and I believe Michigan as well, where his 2 wins came from. Pardon me. So looking to rebound, of course. He's got 2 wins on his career. He's looking to go for another win this season. He's been able to find victory lane, but he's definitely been running up front in a lot of these races, doing a lot of work to try to get back up to the front and finish these races off. Looking back through the field, some more drivers. Andrew Elias currently running 7th right now. He's creeping up on a stat that I don't think anybody wants to have right now. Brett Bennett holds the record for the most starts in the In the Pits News Truck Series without a win. Andrew Elias with a start and a race tonight is going to put him one start behind Brett Bennett. Bennett has 43 starts. This is Elias' 42nd start. So inching up on history that does not want to be replicated or repeated. For that 44 Andrew Elias, of course, coming into this race, he is another playoff driver, comes in at 32 points out behind the number 81 of Jonathan Parker. Not a lot of bonus. He had one bonus point in this chase, so he's looking to try to build up some more points here as he runs 7th place well into stage points right now. Kerfin now working the inside of Hapiak, trying to go for the race lead. As you see back in the background, David Durand to the outside of Ethan Fonseca Moreno for that 5th position. Parker now to the outside, trying to make a move on Alex Kerfin. Can't quite do it. See Hapiak will go to the bottom in front of Kerfin. So right now, 1, 2, 3, all right there, lined up nice and easy. But Kerfan wants the point. He wants the top spot because not only does leading a lap get you a point, it also gets him in the position to set sail and to try to keep that 81 at bay. So go to the inside. He's making the move once again. Can't quite do it. Gets tight. Kerfan has to chase it, has to save it. Indeed, he does. Drop him to 3rd. And there you see David Durand's in the wall. The 24 up top into the wall. Cost him a lot of time. A really good swipe at the wall. That's going to drop him from about 5th all the way back to what is now the 14th position. Make it 15th behind brother Justin. A disaster there for the 24 of David Durand. All the way back now from well in the top 5 to now just about at the tail end of the field. And that's the thing with running that top lane there in 3 and 4. If you run too close to the top, you're going to hit the wall, and it'll cost you greatly. And indeed, it did for David Durand. It came back to bite him there, and now he falls all the way back to 16th, well outside of the stage points now. So as the battle continues for the race lead, Nick Hapiak looking to play a little bit of spoiler and take away some of these stage points from Jonathan Parker and Alex Kerfin. You see Ethan Fonseca Moreno back here in this 4th position. A very impressive rookie season from the 43. But just, came up just shy of that playoff battle. But still putting together some really good runs here. And looking to close out the season strong is this 43. A lot of these guys have gotten back into a single file rhythm here to just kind of knock down some laps. The stage will conclude on lap 38, so we've got a good bit of ways to go. I believe that makes this about 25 laps till the stage end. And we're coming up on a time where some of these drivers are going to start struggling with grip a little more here. About 15 or so laps in, they'll start to struggle with the handling. They'll start to struggle with those worn tires. We'll see some of these drivers move through the field, and some will drop an anchor. And it'll be interesting to see who does what, who goes where. But right now, Nick Hapiak continues to lead this field. Jonathan Parker staying in 2nd. So Nick Hapiak continuing to lead here, and we're going to look a little bit further back in the field where we see Alonso Chicano and Michael Kruger, Cameron Caldwell, and Andrew Elias all right here in this pack here. It's the 6th through 9th. As there's a battle starting to heat up for this position right here. Elias in 6th, the point of contention between he and Alonso Chicano. And Chicano wants to get that spot because every spot up here in this top 8 right now, it's an extra point. It's an extra point or two to definitely set the difference as of right now with Parker being the highest running playoff driver. He's going to definitely try to put a gap between himself and the other drivers. But it's all a matter of if he can stay there in that second position. But Andrew Elias, Dalton Kelly, Alex Kerfin, Alonso Chicano, and right now Michael Kruger are the ones that are also in position to gain some stage points and try to at least keep that gap manageable throughout these next 5 races. See battle back here, Chicano and Kruger now. Side by side, battling for position. Kruger trying that bottom lane, seeing if he can make something work to the inside of Alonso Chicano. Of course, impressive season from Michael Kruger. As he looks to do different than he did last season in the playoffs, where he kind of collapsed in his own words. He kind of fell apart. And he is definitely looking to rebound there. But right now, getting passed by Cameron Caldwell is definitely not a good start. He definitely wants to try to keep that stage position as much as he can. But he's currently in 9th place, the first position out, with Josh Arnold right there ready to pounce in that 10th position. Looking to see if he can make this move and get around the 14. But right now, Cameron Caldwell is trying to work on getting by that 25 of Alonso Chicano to his outside. You see Chicano struggling a little bit in the corner. Caldwell on the wall. And that's going to make them go 3 wide. Michael Kruger to the bottom. 3 wide all the way back here. This is for 7th. But Michael Kruger is going to send it down there on the bottom. He's going to try to make it stick. We saw Chicano bobble. Cameron Caldwell on the wall. And just like that, that's how quick it can change. And now Chicano is on the outside looking in, trying to hold off that 26 of Josh Arnold. Up front, battle for the lead, heating up still once again. Parker is all over the back of Nick Hapiak's bumper, trying to get around and make this pass for this race lead. At the line this time, it'll be 17 laps to go to the conclusion of the stage. We'll see what they can do. Hapiak, though, continues to hold the race lead. Parker trying to roll that bottom lane here in second. He's trying to make it work to the inside of Hapiak. He goes again. There's where spread the field is in that background there. Not really a point of contention for any positions. They're just content to ride it out the way it is right now. Ethan Fonseca Moreno looks now to start to battle with Alex Kerfin. This is for the 3rd position. Moreno going to send it to the outside this time. See if he can't make the move stick and try to get some momentum off the corner to get by this 30 truck. And as he works on him here, he's to the inside now, definitely trying to do battle here. And so we see this 43 Ethan Fonseca Moreno doing his best here, battling for this 3rd position. He along with Nick Hapiak playing spoiler here in this top 8 for these playoff drivers. We saw he was a point shy last week. If he'd have gotten just one more point, he'd have been able to be in these playoffs battling for a championship. But now he's just going to have to ride it out for some results to end the season strong. And that's what he's looking to do here with a third place running right now. And I see battle happening back in the background here. Cameron Caldwell, Andrew Elias, and Michael Kruger now. The battle is on for positions 6 through 8. Caldwell running the outside as well as Michael Kruger now trying to get by that 44 truck. As they work their way around Elias. Cameron Caldwell moves up into the 6th position. Michael Kruger now left the battle with Elias for 7th. And there you see Josh Arnold in the background, noticing Chicano has dropped back to 11th, and he continues to drop. Not having a good run, but up front, battle for the race lead. Here comes Parker to the inside of Happyack, trying to make a run work. Parker's trying to make this inside line work. You can't see him do it. He's not able to get that run off, but somebody who's made that move work already. Dalton Kelly's up to 4th. A great pass on Alex Kerfin there on the inside. Slid right up in front of him. Now battling with that number 30 truck for this 4th spot. Kerfin going to try the crossover to the inside. He goes. Can't quite make it work. You see there, Parker is on the back bumper of Happyack once again. Battles all over the track. Everybody trying to get any positions they can here to get ready for the end of the stage. It'll be 10 laps to go to the end of the stage. You see Parker all over the back bumper now, diving to the bottom. Here comes Parker trying to go for the race lead with Moreno on his back bumper. Happyack and Parker side by side. Moreno right there on the back bumper of Parker. You see Dalton Kelly starting to pull back into this picture to have a shot at it as well. Parker going to send it on the bottom. Happyack up top. Moreno back in the background. Kelly and Kerfin follow tightly as well. As of right now, Jonathan Parker holds the race lead. Happyack trying to make the run on the outside. Can't quite do it. Jonathan Parker might as well clear for the race lead here. Moreno now to his back bumper. Parker can't quite clear off of 2. Happyack making a run to the outside. Moreno dives down to the bottom, back up top. Dalton Kelly going to go to the bottom here of the 43. Side by side, 2 by 2 here in the top 4 as they continue to battle for position, swapping back and forth on which lane prevails. Parker, Kelly, Kerfin on the bottom. Now Happyack right there on the top lane. He's got the 43 of Ethan Fonseca Moreno behind him. Kelly's going to ride into the back bumper of the 43. Going to ride right there with them if he can. Happyack and Parker still side by side battling for the lead. No matter what that 81 does, that 6 of Happyack just won't give up easy. He won't give it to this 81 of Parker. You see Kelly sliding up in the corner. Just about got into Moreno. Just about got into Kerfin. That's going to check him up. And that's going to allow Parker on the inside to try to pull away. Happyack is still right there with Moreno in tow. Kerfin now to 4th. Kelly back to 5th. Here comes Cameron Coble and Michael Kruger, 6th and 7th. They are closing in on this battle as we've got about 7 laps to go. Going to be 6 to go this time by for the stage. Every position matters. Every point's going to matter here in these late races, these last 5 races. Every spot you can get, every point you can get is going to matter. We saw Parker already get a point by leading a lap. Now he's going to try to look and get this stage win to get those 8 bonus points to try and distance himself further from the rest of the field. You see Kerfin and Kelly have caught back up. They're back in the picture, back in the fight. And Kruger and Caldwell are closing as well. Kerfin slots up in front of Kelly. He's going to go up top. There is 3rd in the outside lane. Happyack continues to lead this field now. Parker's going to drop back to 3rd with Kerfin out to his outside looking to battle. At the line, 5 laps to go here in the stage. You see Kerfin drop to the bottom, making a move to the inside of Parker now. He has gotten down to the bottom. Here comes Kerfin trying to make a challenge on this 81. Dalton Kelly's going to go to the top lane. Cameron Caldwell is now in the picture. Moreno now going to go to the race lead as Happyack can't hold it on the bottom. Parker back clear for 2nd. Kerfin now to battle for 3rd. Kelly's right there. Cameron Caldwell now. And Michael Kruger in this picture as well. Cameron Caldwell tried to send it to the outside, almost went 3 wide. Kelly's trying to hold him at bay, doing the best that he can back in the background back here. Kelly is struggling to keep this 12 behind him, fighting as hard as he can because he needs these bonus points. As much as he can get, he is holding off Cameron Caldwell. Happyak's going to drop there on the bottom. He is dropping spots. Caldwell's going to try to shove the 45 into the corner. Can't quite do it. Kelly right now holds on to 4th. Caldwell's trying to make the run with Kruger in tow as well. Make it 3 to go here for the stage. And Moreno continues to lead. Josh Arnold has passed Happyak, as has Wilias. Now Happyak holds the 8th position, last in the stage points. Now it's back to Wilias as the battle continues between them. Kelly slots into 5th behind Caldwell, but Moreno continues to lead out front. You see Caldwell running away up top here in 3 and 4. And Wilias now has pressure. He's got both Ryan Bogey and Justin Duran, as well as Josh Arnold right behind him. Bogey and Duran need some stage points here if they want to keep trying to fight for this championship, and they're going to try to push as hard as they can to get by this number 44 truck. At the stripe this time, it'll be the last lap of the stage. Who's going to get those extra points they need to make a difference? Moreno leads, Parker 2nd, Kerfin 3rd, Caldwell 4th, Kelly 5th. Then it's Kruger, Happyak, and Wilias holding the final spot with a hard charge coming in the background from Josh Arnold. Wilias needs to hold on for one final set of corners here if he can. He'll be able to at least add a point to his total, but we'll have to see. Coming out of 3 and 4, the stage is going to go to a non-chaser. Ethan Fonseca Moreno will take the stage, and you'll see back in the background, Wilias is going to hold off for that 8th position. So that will do it. Ethan Fonseca Moreno is your stage winner here. And with that, that is his first stage win on the season. A good job there by Ethan Fonseca Moreno to score the stage win. Looking at your chase drivers, Parker is scored 2nd, the highest chaser. Kerfan 3rd. Kelly's going to walk away with a 5th place position, excuse me. Michael Kruger is going to come home 6th after that stage. And Andrew Elias holds on for the 8th spot. And with that, they will get ready to go to pit road. And so with that, field is going to head down pit road and get service for the first time tonight. Andrew Elias looks like he will stay out here, and with staying out, he'll lead a lap and notch a bonus point here at the conclusion of this race. A good call by that number 44 truck to definitely try and make a difference. So his pit stops are underway for the rest of the field. See Jonathan Parker lead the way off of pit road. Fonseca Moreno off 2nd as the field continues to jockey for positions exiting pit road. So right now, here is your points update after the stage. We'll have a graphic for you here in a short while. As you see, Elias pulling down pit road, of course, stayed out to lead the lap, so that way he can get a bonus point at the end of it. But as of right now, not counting those bonus points, just counting stage points. Jonathan Parker sits top point standing still. Michael Kruger now is 15 points back. Justin Durand is third, back 22. David Durand is down 24 points. Alex Kerfin now finds himself down 30. Alonso Chicano is down 31. Dalton Kelly down 33. Ryan Bogey is down 34. Andrew Elias is down 38. And Matthew Stotts down 40. Unable to get any bonus points here. So he sits 40 points out of this championship leader. So as the field chooses that time, they're getting ready to go back green here. Parker to the inside, Kerfin to the outside. And we'll see just what they can do. And timing is everything. It's impeccable. We have a member of the booth finally back with me here. It's no longer just us now. We've got Jonathan Canfield joining us once again here this week. Jonathan, welcome to the booth. You missed a fun first stage here.
Yeah, I was watching from my mobile. I had prior obligations as the field goes green. Just happy I can make it and happy I can call another race with you, Dawson.
Indeed, it's always a joy to have another friendly voice in the booth like yourself. And here we go. Green Parker jumps out to the race lead. There you see Moreno on the inside trying to make the move on Kerfin for second. But here, Parker is already trying to check out early.
And it'll be interesting to see. Chicagoland is a pretty racy track. I've been watching on my phone. These drivers clearly not afraid to dice it up, and seeing the points drivers go at it too.
Spinning! Michael Kruger around!
Oh!
He was able to keep it off of everything, but that's big there. Michael Kruger, the one that blinks first here of the playoff drivers in this second segment of the race.
As we were talking about playoff drivers, there's what you don't want to do as a playoff driver is put yourself in that hole here early.
This is coming down the backstretch, heading into turns 3 and 4, of course, on fresh tires. You want to make sure you don't clip the apron, which Michael Kruger did, and around it went, snapped out from underneath him, and around he goes, kept it off of everything, kept it off of anyone else, but still the spin into the grass is not going to be good for the 14 of Michael Kruger.
And that'll take him all the way from the 9th position back to the 9th, or starting in the 9th position, but now he's going to be back in 19th out of all 19 drivers. So he is the last car here, and that's going to be a tough mountain to climb, but we've seen Michael Kruger race. We know how good of a driver he is. I wouldn't be surprised to see him creeping on top 10 again here in just a couple laps after that spin.
Yeah, it'll definitely be work to do. He'll have to come from the back and definitely push forward. But we'll have to see how he can, how it pans out for him, as he's going to have a long road to get back to the front. So we'll get back up to the front of the field here and let you see what's going on.
And with that caution, the field is still going to be in the hands of Jonathan Parker here. And it sounds like the drivers are going to be coming to the choose cone, maybe? I heard that over driver radio, but Jonathan Parker's still in the lead right now, doing what he has to do. He is a playoff driver, so you love seeing the playoff drivers scattered throughout the rest of the field. But somebody I noticed just as I've loaded in here, Ethan Fonseca Moreno running third right now, putting on a good showing after a good showing last week in Atlanta. He's doing very well up here with these guys and trying maybe prove something here to these guys. But as it does appear, Jonathan Parker's all the way at the bottom of the track. And yes, the drivers are choosing this time. So Jonathan Parker to the bottom, Alex Kerfin to the outside, Ethan Fonseca Moreno to the inside. Following him was Cameron Caldwell. Dalton Kelly, the next car, jumping up a row here to the outside. And then Justin Duran taking the inside behind Caldwell. Nick Hapiak taking the outside. Zach Probst, the next car, inside. And Nathan Fuller taking the outside. So a little bit of mix-up there. I do see the 42 machine, Josh Coppernell, still in this race. I like to pick on him a little bit. So, yeah, we'll have some fun. As green is out, and I was stuck in replay. Apologize for that, folks. Green is out. Field in the hands of Jonathan Parker. He takes the lead, and out of turn 2, he will maintain his lead. Side by side for second, though, Cameron Caldwell and Alex Kerfin. And behind them, still side by side between Ethan Fonseca Moreno and Dalton Kelly. Got to remember to keep those cold tires under you for right now. Let the heat build up. Don't want to see another incident like Michael Kruger had as Kerfin clears Caldwell.
See Caldwell trying to make a move. Oh, Moreno, a little bit of contact. They just about spun it around there, but they were able to maintain it. They saved it. They kept it clean. So the battle is going to heat up for sure. They are continuing to fight as hard as they can for this race here. Every position means everything to everybody here. Nobody is just trying to jockey for positions just easy and softly. They are fighting like it is the last lap.
Yeah, and we love that about this truck series. They race hard every lap of the race, and notably, at least the races I've been at, we haven't seen a ton of cautions, even with how much they race hard for position. So credit to these drivers and their skill set to be able to race this hard and still maintain position.
Continuing to fight like it's every lap matters, because pretty much every lap does matter. You see Moreno is still fighting to the inside of Caldwell for that 6th position as he continues to battle. Parker, however, out front. Alex Kerfin right there. Dalton Kelly is there as well as they continue to fight for the race lead. See what they can do and what they can pull off here. And the big thing about this too is Jonathan Parker leading laps here, trying to lead the most laps if he can. He can lock up an extra bonus point here, which will help him handily. And I see a big gaggle of trucks back here. Everybody's still so tight, packed racing. Some playoff drivers in the mix here. Matthew Stotts, Ryan Bogie, Andrew Elias, Alonso Chicano. And, of course, way back out back here, David Duran and Michael Kruger are in this mix as well. So they're right there in the Hornets' nest. You see Coppernell trying to make a move to the inside of Probst. Can't quite do it. Falls back in line. Chicano diving to the bottom there behind them. Seeing if he can make some moves through this field. You see Stotts. Oh, around goes Stotts. Bogey's around. Elias is in it. Crump piles in as well. Caution flag is going to fly yet again. And it involves 3 of our championship contenders.
To see that for your championship contenders. Andrew Elias, especially, just a victim of circumstance, nowhere to go, and he's just stuck in the wreck.
We're going to take a look back at what happened there. And it started off heading into turn 3. A bump to the back of the 26 of Joshua Arnold from Stotts gets him stacked up. Bogey piles into him. Elias into both of them. Crump gets a piece of Ryan Bogey up ahead there. And I believe David Duran just missed this wreck. Only ever so slightly, though. Take a look back and see on board of the 24 of David Durand.
Big credit to Joshua Arnold. That wreck could have been a couple rows up, too. Able to take that shot that he got from the 17 and just keep on driving. That wreck could have collected a couple more cars there, but it did not because Josh Arnold makes a great save.
Yeah, indeed. But right now, Dalton Kelly looks like he stays out. Some drivers coming down pit road for their second stop. It looks like try to top off on fuel, perhaps. But Dalton Kelly stays out. He'll lead a lap, and that'll be big for him points-wise. So talking about points, not including. This is not including any of these laps led points. This is solely for the championship points at the end of the stage. Jonathan Parker holds the position of the points leader. He gets a gap over Michael Kruger, Justin Duran, and David Durand. Alex Kerfin jumps Alonso Chicano. Dalton Kelly moves up as well. Ryan Bogey drops back 8th. Andrew Elias 9th. And Matthew Stott's 10th. He's 40 points out now, so just about a full race back of this championship lead. So it's definitely going to be a fight for some of these guys a little bit further back to try and get into this championship battle, but anything's possible, obviously, in these races. So still plenty of racing left tonight, along with the other 4 races coming up throughout this playoff battle.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of the points, we just seen our second place in points, Michael Kruger, have that big spin that cost him a bunch of spots. If you're in his position, like we talked about, you got to climb this mountain here and get as many positions as you can. And if you're Jonathan Parker's position, you want him to fall back as far as possible and give you that gap and a cushion going into the next race.
But even bigger, though, too, some of that last wreck took 3 playoff drivers in with it. Matthew Stott, Andrew Elias, Ryan Bogey, they are the bottom 3 in the playoffs right now. 34, 38, and 40 points out of this championship hunt. So the 3 of them being involved really does not help their chances at a championship, or at least puts them in a hole early.
Absolutely. And, you know, for all those drivers, we hope the next couple of races or even the rest of this race, they can get their damage fixed and try to make some kind of a recovery. So far, I haven't seen any drivers disconnect besides maybe the 17 still sitting on pit road. He has not disconnected, but we still have our field. As I say that, the 17 disconnects.
And with that, that will put him 19th place to finish this race. So definitely going to be a hole to dig out of here for the 17 Matthew Stotts. Pace car dives off onto pit road. Dalton Kelly and the 6 Nick Happek are going to lead the field back to green here. We're back underway at Chicagoland.
And seeing that 6 truck out there, for those of you who are fans of JCTV, that is the same driver you just seen last night in the NAOR doubleheader, bringing home a win at Talladega. We are 3 wide almost. Yes, 3 wide definitely now.
I didn't want to cut you off there because David Durand just sent it 3 wide on the inside and made the pass stick to get to second place. Now side by side with brother Justin for the position from in the wall earlier on to now currently holding the second position in battle with brother Justin for it. That was an incredible pass by David Durand.
Absolutely incredible. It was shocking as I was trying to talk. I got my breath taken away too, Dawson, just watching the move that they were making there. I'm going to keep it PG for TV, but we all know what I'm thinking when I see that kind of move.
As far as scoring, Roy Crump now out of the race as well. 18th position is where he will finish tonight's event. But now you see a battle heating up. David Durand, Dalton Kelly, battle for the race lead underway here at Chicagoland once again.
Yes, and it is important to note because he is a playoff driver, but Andrew Elias is still out on track, but heavy damage to his nose, and he is not keeping pace with the field right now. So we hope better for him. Hopefully he can get his full repairs done with more cautions in the race, but right now Andrew Elias is looking like he might sit back in that 17th position, just hoping for more drivers to wreck.
Well, with who is leading the race and who is second right now, I would expect at least a little bit of chaos and a little more drama. Dalton Kelly, David Durand, no love lost between the two, that's for sure. But right now, side by side, battling for the race lead. Alex Kerfin now into the picture here. Nick Happy is right there with him as well. Kerfin trying to force his way in the middle. Couldn't quite do it. Going to go to the outside. Here comes the 30 truck now in the picture, battling back for the race lead.
Yeah, and you look away for 1 second, you didn't see Kerfin, but now look, he's up here with the top two.
Oh,
There's
contact Checked up the outside line too. Just like that, Kerfan out of second, battling for the race lead with Dalton Kelly.
And Kerfan's going to look inside here going into turn 1. And he might get the position here on Dalton Kelly. He is in front, and he's going to slide up and take that first position from Dalton Kelly, as Dalton Kelly is now under fire from the 81 of Jonathan Parker.
Kelly trying to run that way top line. It's just not working out yet. You see maybe contact between Duran and Moreno as they battle for a position back there. That is for the 5th position.
Yeah, and part of our last caution is also up in there too. Joshua Arnold and Nick Hapiak, they're both in that position. Joshua Arnold just made a great save when he was ran into by the 17 of Matthew Stotts. Now Joshua Arnold is up here battling just outside the top 5.
Yeah, slides up in front of Justin Duran. Of course, the Season 2 Rookie of the Year, Justin Duran, looking tonight after his 2nd career win to start his battle, his chase for a championship. But right now, running in the 7th position. It's looking like it's going to be a rough patch to start off this chase. Not able to really contend up front, being stuck out back most of this race. We'll have to see what he can do.
And keeping tabs with our playoff guys, the driver that we talked about is going to have to climb the mountain. Well, he's climbing that mountain, and he's figuring out how to do it very quickly. Michael Kruger up here battling with Nick Hapiak, and right behind Justin Durand as well. He's starting to climb that mountain and get himself back in the picture here for this race.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Can't count him out no matter what he does. He's just like Tom Brady. You can never count him out until the fat lady's sung, and right now she's still warming up her vocals for another couple laps. So Kruger's still back in this thing, battling with Hapiak for the 8th position, looking to march back to the front. But right now, out front, it's Alex Kerfan and Jonathan Parker 1-2 on a bit of a breakaway from 3rd place, Ethan Fonseca Moreno.
Top 5 really spread out. You don't really get to much of the battling until you run back to where Michael Kruger is, as he's battling to the inside of the Durand brothers, trying to just see if he can keep making up those spots. You know, the Durand brothers probably aren't going to cut him too much slack. They're just as much in this as he is, but it looks like Kruger's going to clear down here in 3 and 4. Up front, though, Jonathan Parker is closing a little bit on Alex Kerfan. There could be a battle for the lead here in the next couple laps. I think the 81 might just be a scotch faster with that draft, but it's also a very tough track to pass on here at Chicagoland.
You say that, and we've seen Michael Kruger climb through the field like it's nothing. It's definitely an uphill battle for some drivers. For other drivers, it just comes easy. So up ahead of the field, right now, you can see there's that 44 of Andrew Elias. Damage in that wreck earlier. That front end is still pushed in. And we'll see what happens.
This would be his first lap down. So, again, driver is still not out of this as long as the truck is running. But he'll need a caution to get a lap back and get on the pit road and take some repairs here and hope that that truck runs the same after the repairs.
So that we'll see, though. But a lap down in the 16th position is Andrew Elias. Is Ryan Bogey 2 laps down on pit road right now. So not the start to the chase that these drivers wanted. And you see as well, another driver that's not off the pace, I would say, but just well back there. Alonso Chicano's back in 15th right now. All the way at the tail end of the field.
Yeah, and I'm noticing his right rear, at least on my screen, looks like it might have a little crinkle, but not enough to really damage the truck. Maybe the handling just not there for that 25 truck tonight.
Yeah, we'll have to see, but right now up front, Alex Kerfin continues to lead.
And as he does, he's still got the 81 all over his tailgate. The 81 not willing to drop back here. Jonathan Parker all over Alex Kerfin, waiting for a mistake to happen. And as soon as a mistake does happen, you can bet the 81 truck's going to be going by very quickly.
We'll have to see. As they continue on here. The battle's still heating up for this race lead. Jonathan Parker continues to trail Alex Kerfin here. So as this battle continues on, we're going to take a quick ad break here. We're going to take you on a side-by-side. Again, you will not miss any of the action. So we go side-by-side here on JCTV for the Chicagoland 225 to open the Season 3 chase. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Yeah, you.
Danica, you had a rough run on the last lap there. How do you adjust?
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh. You're gonna show this whole world. You're gonna shine. Oh, Coca-Cola.
What was the question again?
I honestly don't remember.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Like an autograph? I do way more for the fans.
I doubt that very much.
Do you like this hat? Here, it's yours. You can have it.
Take one of my helmets. It's much better than a hat.
What about a ride home? Can I give you a ride home? I mean,
Even better, take my car. Do whatever you want with it.
kidding me?
Can you beat that? I don't think so.
True champions know what fans really want. Mobil 1, the official motor oil of NASCAR. Many champions, many fans. One oil, Mobil 1.
There's one. What is that?
It's my Dale call.
That's way better than my duck call.
If you're on a diet of taking it up a notch,
It's just different.
drink Diet Dew, the only diet with dew in it.
Ooh. Call Logano. Hey, Joey, you can save money if you fill up at Shell if you use Advanced Auto Parts Speed Perks.
Dude, I'm way ahead of you.
You saved at the pump?
Yeah, I saved at the pump.
The pump?
The pump.
He saved at the pump!
Woo! Now you can save at the pump when you shop at Advanced Auto Parts. Learn more at advancedautoparts.com/gas rewards.
Now, it's my turn.
Kyle Busch, welcome to Menards. What can I help you with today?
Well, I've got my shopping list right here. I need some green treated lumber. I need a brown Mastercraft door. I need red Clearview cabinets and some blue Dutch Boy paint.
Those are M&Ms.
And?
At Menards, we carry the world's best selection of home improvement products to help you complete your next project.
You've got more of these, right?
It's all gonna fit in your car?
I got a trunk.
Save big money at Menards.
I'm Jimmy Johnson. Boom, confetti. I'm Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy, customers love the new paint color. It's your beard.
Oh, wow.
And living legend, Jimmy Johnson is on aisle 8.
Dawn, this is all great. Maybe a little much.
I think we're playing it pretty cool here.
I'm Jimmy Johnson. Boom, confetti.
Hey, man, you cut me off back there. What you gonna do about it? Oh, man.
Can you feel it? The taste of Coca-Cola. When the race is
All right, fine. Are we good?
It's the In the Pits News Truck Series here on JCTV. We continue on with our coverage here of tonight's event, the Chicagoland 225, the 988 Suicide Hotline 225. As this race continues on, the battle for the lead continues to heat up. And what are you seeing?
Parker.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Jonathan, what are you seeing out there as you see some more drivers? You see Cameron Caldwell's a lap down as well. I notice he just pit. It looks like actually. So Cameron Caldwell might be starting the pit cycles here.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he's gonna try and pull some pit strategy out. But as I was watching throughout the break, our gap between our leaders has been relatively consistent. A tenth and a half to about 1.6 seconds, or not 1.6, 0.16 seconds the entire time. And really, these two just not spreading out, not losing track of each other. Like I said earlier, I think Jonathan Parker might be just a scotch faster, but it's by help of the draft. And really, the only way I see him getting around Kerfin is if Kerfin makes a major mistake or makes a wrong pit call or pit strategy here.
Yep, this is leading up to be another pit strategy race. Make the right call to get out ahead of the 8-ball. And you see Kerfin leading the race. Parker is second. And notice Justin Durand, it looks like David Durand actually slowing up. Might be coming to pit road. Indeed, he is with brother Justin as well. Looking to see if they can start some strategy here. And maybe start the cycle off for the rest of the field.
It's tough as a driver, I'll say, from personal experience, to be the first ones down pit road, but sometimes it can work out for you, and sometimes it can't. As David Durand, I'm watching him on pit road, had issues getting in his box. That's going to cost him some time, so not the pit stop you want to have if you're David Durand out here fighting for playoff spot or playoff points and trying to get a race win if he can, as he is off and away on pit road.
Still, though, battle up front continues. To see right now, Cameron Caldwell is 12th. That happened. Field disappeared. That was terrifying.
I was getting ready to ask if we lost you, Dawson, but I didn't want to jump to conclusions. But as long as you're still here, we're still rolling.
Oh, yeah, the heart dropped for a second there. That was terrifying. I saw the field go blank, and everybody else disappeared, and I was like, uh-oh, that ain't good. Looking through the field here right now, Joshua Arnold currently in the 4th position. A great run going so far for him in this 26 machine. As you see up there, still 1-2 for the lead right there, nose to tail. We mentioned Ethan Fonseca Moreno in that 3rd position. Michael Kruger is up to 5th. And how about Josh Coppernol? 6th place run so far. Finally able to crack into the top 10 as of right now. Still barring everybody who's already taken a pit stop, including Cameron Caldwell, Dalton Kelly, David, and Justin Durand. So we'll see where he cycles out at the end of this race. But right now, a good run for our buddy here on JCTV, Josh Coppernol. But right now, up front, it's still Alex Kerfin leading. Jonathan Parker still trailing behind in second here.
Yeah, and I'm watching the gap. I think this 43 machine might be catching these two in front. Ethan Fonseca Moreno looks like he's catching the two leaders little by little each lap. You got to wonder if he's better on a long run here and if he can pull a strategy out of his hand here to be the faster of these 3 trucks towards the end of the race.
Now, I got to say here, I'm looking at the time he's scoring. Not this last lap. This last lap, Moreno was the fastest, but the previous lap, both Kerfin and Parker ran the exact same lap times, and they both have the same exact time for their best lap time. They are running dead even with each other. It's just beyond incredible. It looks like Tyler Watermolen jumping down to pit road as well. He is the next driver to commit to pit. So starting to see some more drivers venture their way onto pit road and get their service.
And last time by, the 43 closed up over a 1/10 of a second, knocks off a couple more hundreds here as he closes into 7/10 of a second here within our 2 leaders. Ooh, and you can feel it. The battle is starting to heat up for the lead as this 43 closes in. We're about to have 3 trucks under a blanket for this lead as he is now within 0.6 of a second, almost a half a second of these trucks.
Yeah, rolling in here on the race leaders is Ethan Fonseca Moreno. He has been setting the fastest laps on track. So he's definitely looking forward to catching these leaders and seeing if he can contend for this position.
Well, I think what's going to be interesting here, Dawson, is he might be faster right now because he's kind of getting some clean air. He's not fully up on the back of these trucks yet. How does he handle the dirty air when he's up behind these trucks? We've seen kind of how Jonathan Parker has handled it. He's just maintained his gap to Alex Kerfin and not been able to really get a run to get by Alex Kerfin. But it's always interesting to see how drivers handle the dirty air.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that Parker is intentionally not trying to pass. You see there, Kerfin now diving to pit road. If he can make it there, he slides it a little bit. A very aggressive pit stop there. But Alex Kerfin is on pit road. So he'll be the first to start the cycle of these drivers. And something I noticed when I'm paying attention, looking at our scoring and everything, these guys that are staying out here on their 38th, 39th lap, these are guys that pit under the last caution. The other guys that stayed out on the last caution, they are the ones that had pit earlier. So I'm noticing here there's going to be 2 schools of thought here at the end of this race on when the last pit stop should be. But right now, that split's about to even back out between these drivers as Nick Hapiak is on pit road as well. As pit stops are underway for the rest of the field that had yet to pit.
And pulling back up to your race leader right now, Jonathan Parker still out there running. 0.4 back is Ethan Fonseca Moreno. Not really closing at the rate that he was before, but like I said, the dirty air could have just been holding up Jonathan Parker, and maybe Alex Kerfin was just falling off harder, and that's what allowed Ethan Fonseca Moreno to close as he closes in a little bit more that lap, though, now in 0.3 of a second.
Continuing to pull in race leader Jonathan Parker. But you got to wonder, when does Parker elect to pit? We're not at a point where you can split this and make one pit stop. At least I don't believe. Because right now it's still about 57 laps to go at the line this time. You know, right here if you pit, you'd have to try to make it 57 laps, which just is not possible. But we'll see what the strategy is for some of these drivers. Because obviously, everybody's going to have to pit again. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. They're definitely going to try to stretch it as long as they can here before making their pit stops here. As Parker and
I jump back to Michael Kruger in the 14 truck. He was dealing with some heavy traffic for a second, holding up a lot of these drivers that are on these fresher tires that just made their pit stop. And it almost had what we would consider to be a wreck. Really close there between Michael Kruger and all the guys that were trying to get around him.
You can see up ahead of him, Caldwell, Kerfin, Durand. All these guys are a lap down battling for positions. Right now, Alex Kerfin, the first car lap down in 9th. Looks like Josh Arnold electing to come to pit road, so he is the next to bite and pull down and get service. So now we await for the top 7 as Parker continues to blink in and out here. Kind of scaring me. But Parker continues on, staying on track.
Yeah, and with Arnold pulling down, that moves Michael Kruger up to the 3rd position. He's still 5 seconds back of the leaders, but he along with Copernell, Chicano, I can't say for sure on Chicano because I don't know if he's pitted yet or not. I don't think he has. But realistically, it seems like 5 drivers have not pulled down for service yet.
Actually, your total is 7. Parker, Moreno, Kruger, Copernell, Chicano, Fuller, and Probst have yet to come down pit road. You see there, right there, there's Alex Kerfin. He is currently scored 8th as they run right now, and he is looking to unlap himself on track But the big thing is, he's burning up his stuff. It's now been about 6 laps since he last pit, but he's going to end up burning off his tires a little more than these guys will when they get down pit road for the first time. So we're going to definitely see a big difference between when Parker comes out and Moreno come out compared to what we're seeing with some of these guys at pit, because right now, Durand is currently on a 15-lap run. Dalton Kelly, 16 laps since he last pit. Cameron Caldwell's been out there for 19 laps. So that will really play a factor when these leaders do finally elect to pit.
Absolutely, and as we were talking, we're not totally in the window yet where I believe you were saying we could split it, but we might be getting close to it here with these guys that are deciding to stay out.
The only thing I can think is if they're going to try to say Parker's going to pull to pit road this time, 46 laps is how long he was out on track. Now what I'm watching, coming to line this time, when Moreno hits the line, 51 laps to go. Moreno, Kruger, Coppernoll, Fuller, and Probst are on over 40-ish laps. 47 for Kruger, Moreno, and Fuller right now, and Coppernoll. Are they going to try to make this a one-stop event? Because right now, that's what it looks like. Moreno looks like he's low on the apron. Looks like he's going to come to pit road this time. Indeed, he is. Now we look to see for Michael Kruger. Does the 14 come to pit road this time? The answer is no. He'll stay out. So what I'm wondering, are these drivers going to try and save fuel on this last run and see if they can't make it? Or maybe is someone staying out longer than they should? Because right now, Kruger is on a 48-lap run. So is Josh Coppernoll. So is Nathan Fuller. And Zach Probst is on a 47-lap run. So what I'm noticing right now, but I see a little bit slower, is Josh Coppernoll. He lets Nathan Fuller go. So slower for Coppernoll compared to the rest of the field. But we're watching Michael Kruger to see what happens. There's Jonathan Parker up ahead of the race leader, Michael Kruger, who will now elect to come down pit road. I believe this time we'll see the rest of them pull down as well. Indeed, you see Coppernoll and Fuller slowing to pit road. But Zach Probst will stay out an extra lap. So this is really risky business here.
Yeah, but I like the gutsy call from some of these guys that aren't in the playoffs that are going for race wins. I mean, Zach Probst not in the playoffs here, just racing out here to get race wins, and he's trying to make the strategy call of the year right now with trying to split this race, as we'll see if he comes down this time. Indeed, he does, bringing it down to pit road. We'll see how far he can stretch this next set of tires and this next tank of fuel.
So with that, the lead is handed back to Alex Kerfin. He's got a good gap between himself and Justin Durand in the 5 truck. Currently sits at a 5-second gap. 5.5 seconds now. Obviously fresher tires on the 30 compared to the 5, but you see that difference, so how different everybody is in their pit stops. So we're going to see some guys try to stretch it here at the end. We're going to see some guys try to make it work if they can.
Oh, and as we're watching the leader, I see the 42, Josh Coppernoll, getting loose, trying to push too much on these fresh tires. Just settle in here if you're the driver and try to let those tires warm up. The grip will come to you.
Coppernoll going to be scored 14th right now after that pit stop. So as he runs a lap down right behind race leader Alex Kerfin. There you see Zach Probst in the background, Nathan Fuller. Both laps down. They're scored 12th and 13th. There's 14th Josh Coppernoll right behind them as well. And we cross the stripe next time by. It'll be 45 laps to go. It will be a battle to see who can stretch to the end, if they can make it on that being their last stop, or if they'll have to make one more stop. We'll have to see. But I think if this is going to play in anybody's favor, it will absolutely play in the hands of Zach Probst, I believe, who has got the money strategy to make it on just one stop.
Yeah, and as you noted about Alex Kerfin earlier, pushing to get around the leaders, you notice Zach Probst, he doesn't seem like he's in a hurry to get around Alex Kerfin. He's just riding back there, knowing that if he just keeps his laps consistent, eventually he'll be able to catch Alex Kerfin and he won't have to fight too hard to pass him.
We'll see how patient he is. I see Jonathan Parker continuing to blink in and out. In third place right now, ahead of Dalton Kelly. Of course, passing Dalton Kelly, he was on older tires. He's got Fonseca Moreno will be the next one to try to get by him. So it's definitely a battle about who made the right call to end this race.
And as Alex Kerfin continues to lead, it begs the question, how far can he go? He pitted kind of early. I don't know if he's going to make it to the end. Probst was borderline with his call. I think Alex Kerfin's still got one more stop left in this race, though.
It almost feels like Probst is saving right now. And he's holding up Fuller and Coppernoll, who may also be trying to save as well. So definitely interesting to see how they do it.
Well, and also with Chicagoland being as big of a track as it is, if Kerfin indeed has to pit and the other leaders have to pit and these guys are just sitting behind, saving their stuff, and they don't end up having to pit here, it takes a long time, even on fresh tires, just to get around to unlap yourself, let alone to unlap yourself and then get back up to these leaders. So this is going to be a very interesting finish here.
You can see Michael Kruger pit 7 laps ago. He's currently 3 seconds behind Alonso Chicano, who's 10th, who pit 10 laps ago. So a lot of strategy shaking up the field here. Definitely going to have to keep eyes on some of these drivers and how they're going to have to make their second stop in the near laps, at least in the near future. Like Justin Durand, Dalton Kelly, Cameron Caldwell, David Durand. They pit just about 30 laps ago, all of them did. So they are on the oldest tires on track right now. And you can see where they're scored right now. Justin Durand is currently scored 4th. Dalton Kelly is 6th, Cameron Caldwell is 7th, and David Durand is 9th. Missing his stall definitely didn't help him there. But you just see this difference in strategy. Everybody is on a different call on how they want to make it to the end of this race and what they want to do. But I'm most interested by what I'm seeing out of Zach Probst, Nathan Fuller, and Josh Coppernoll riding around behind the race leader, staying that lap down, because guess what? As of right now, barring any cautions, it doesn't hurt you to do this because you can get that lap back as soon as the field pits again. But again, that's barring a caution, so it all depends on if there's a yellow.
Absolutely, and if there's a yellow, Probst is okay right now because he gets lucky dog, so he'll be all right. But if you're Nathan Fuller or Josh Coppernoll, your race is almost thrown out the window because you either stay out, take the wave around, and then you've got older tires and not enough fuel or not as much fuel as the rest of the field, or you pit and you stay that lap down and just hope that there's another caution for you to get your lap back.
Well, we're going to take one more side-by-side break here, and then we'll take you ad break free to the end of this race. Alex Kerfin leads. We've got about, give it 37 laps to go here at Chicagoland. Who's going to walk away with the win? Who's made the right call? And who is going to hoist a trophy tonight to open up the chase? You're watching the In the Pits News Truck Series only on JCTV.
At Domino's, you can carry out 3-topping pizzas for just $7.99 each. And with Domino's Carside Delivery, you can conveniently stay in your car while you do it. Just pull up, check in online, and we'll quickly bring your food to you.
Thank you.
So you don't have to get out, to get carryout. Like Denny here.
Hey, Hamlin. I like your PJs.
PJs? What? Stay in the driver's seat with Domino's Carside Delivery.
Whoa! Dad, where'd you get that?
Oh, you won't believe what just happened.
Don't tell me you got the last Diet Dew.
Yeah.
I love the taste of Diet Dew. What do you want for it? Deal.
Diet Mountain Dew. Yeah, it tastes that good.
Hey, hotshot. Meter's running.
So, Clint, are race car drivers really athletes?
Jim, are you serious? Feast your eyes on my motor skills. My strength and agility. My mental acuity. And to feel alert and energetic, I take 5-hour energy. I guess you are pretty athletic. Thanks, Jim. For someone who sits in a car for a living. What? Nothing.
Nothing's tougher than a Mahindra tractor. Except a bigger Mahindra tractor. Pound for pound, this one's still tougher. Tough. Tougher. Tough.
Tougher. Mahindra, the official tractor of Tough and Stewart Haas Racing.
I got a race this weekend. I'll see you later.
Man, we're door to door. I have the better car, fresher tires. I drove it in deep, and you missed it. I know you wanted to watch it, but you got throttled by your data plan, and it slowed you down. You hit your data limit streaming all that techno music, didn't you? I mean, really? Man, you've got some questionable taste in music.
Switch to Sprint, the only network with truly unlimited data.
Everyone knows that old NASCAR legend about how drivers, go during a race. So naturally, we were curious.
Kevin, no bathroom break?
Nope, all set.
Hey, Kevin.
What's going on? Excuse me. I mean, those fire suits are made of high-tech fabric.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Looking at the rain.
You guys go on, I'll catch up.
As a Grand Prix world champion in triathletes, I know how important it is to stretch before any competition.
I also know it's important to stretch. Mobil 1's advanced technology lubricates our engines.
Yes, that is true.
And my joints.
Oh my word.
Soda cookies. You want one, Jensen?
Practice went okay, but if it keeps pushing like that, what are you gonna do? Here we go.
Can you feel it? The taste of Coca-Cola.
Can I get your autograph?
Yeah, sure.
I can't wait to show my grandson.
As we enter the closing laps here of the 988 Suicide Hotline 225 at Chicagoland, Alex Kerfin continues to lead the field here as the battle raging on for strategy. Who has made the right call? Who is going to get out on top? Just 27 laps to go here, and we have got ourselves a battle because we've got pit stops going on. You see David Rand pulling off of pit road. So it's all going to come down to this. Who has made the right call?
Yeah, and as we noted earlier, we've still got those 3 drivers sitting right behind the leader that are still sitting a lap down. But as we talked about, Alex Kerfin, we believe, still has to pull to pit road. And Zach Probst's not worried about unlapping himself, but he'll get past here. I believe that is the 24 of David Duran.
And David Duran 2 laps down, so it's not going to be a pass for position. He'd have to go around a second circuit to get by the 62 for position. But he'll clear, and he'll get back to being 1 lap down of race leader Alex Herman. But you can see right here on the side, looks like Jonathan Parker's on pit road right now. I was going to say, these guys are going to have to pit here soon and make their call. They're going to have to make their bed and lie in it because this is going to be go time. Parker on pit road. You'll see Dalton Kelly pull the pit road as well. He finally makes his last stop of the night. So it's all about, did they make the right call? Did they make the strategy work? Will they come out on top? But the big one we're watching, of course, is that number 62 is Zach Probst, 6th place right now as he stands. So we'll see how things shake out here. Top 3 right now on the lead lap. They have yet to pit. They'll have one more time, and then they'll come down pit road. So let that sink in, though. We've only got 3 cars. We've got 3 trucks on the lead lap right now. Alex Kerfin, Ethan Fonseca Moreno, and Alonso Chicano are the 3 that are on the lead lap right now. But they're going to have to pit. Kerfin's been out there for 36 laps. We've seen the 26 laps for Moreno and 28 laps for Chicano. They will have to come to pit road to make it to the end, I believe. But I could be wrong on that, but I believe they'll have to come and make one final stop. Kerfin, at least, for sure. But Moreno and Chicano are around that same strategy call that Probst, Kruger, and Coppernoll are on, so it'll be close. It's all about if they can make it last.
On another driver who was probably on that same strategy was the 4 of Nathan Fuller, but Jonathan Parker, only losing 1 lap there, has easily gone by the 4 truck here. So the 4 truck kind of having that strategy bite him, but now really what we're going to watch is how quickly this 81 can close up to this 62 and if their strategy is going to work.
Yeah, it's all about the strategy and if they can make it work. It's all about who made the right call and who is going to come out on top. It's still so close to call. There's still so much going on here because anything can happen still. We can still see a caution. We can still see something happen. And you see here as well, I'm looking at the scoreboard. Looks like we've lost 2 drivers, one a long time ago and one recently. We lost Bogey as well. He is going to finish 17th in this race. So an unfortunate start to the chase for the driver, the 21. But other important note, the driver of the number 68 truck, Tyler Watermullen, this is his home track. He has disconnected, so he is going to leave this track as well, abandoning it as NASCAR did. So no shocker there. But Tyler Watermullen out of this race will be scored 16th. So that puts Wilias at least up to 15th as it stands right now. Barring any cautions, this is pretty much going to be how this all shakes out. But Matthew Stott's going to come home 19th. Not a good start to the chase. Ryan Bogey going to finish the night in 17th. So really not how they wanted to start their playoffs, that's for sure.
And as you mentioned, barring any other incidents, Andrew Elias looking like he'll finish in the 15th spot. You got to wonder if maybe he doesn't finish this race tonight, but he might be able to limp it home with, as he sits right now, 4 laps down, probably going to be 5 laps down soon, as the 30 of Alex Kerfin is on pit road.
Yeah, Kerfin's on pit road, but I wanted to look back here. Moreno is slower on track here. Don't know if he ran out of fuel or if he's just slow, but he is slow. There's a slower lap that time by. Chicano has passed him, so right now, Alonso Chicano is your race leader. At the stripe that time, it should be 19 laps to go. He's been out there for 33 laps as they run right now. So with another 19 laps added on there, I mean, you've got, what's that, a 52-lap run to the end, and he's going to have to make it on fuel. It's going to be borderline if he can do that.
And I'll tell you what the 43 is doing. He is clutching it and letting off. He's not going fast intentionally. He is not worried about the gap right now. He is worried about making it to the finish, and he's trying to save. And that's why we see him so slow on track.
And that possibly is why Ethan Fonseca Moreno slowed way up, is to try to save fuel. And that's why he's dropped about 6 seconds back of race leader Alonso Chicano as they run right now.
And an important note here, we talked about Zach Probst making a strategy call. Well, the 81 of Jonathan Parker has caught Zach Probst, and he's going to get by Zach Probst very easily here, barring Zach Probst not fighting him as, oh, they get close and almost make contact there. Almost a wreck between the 62 and the 81, but the 81 clears Zach Probst.
This is big. He's got 10 seconds as the gap between himself and Chicano. So right now, he's on 8-lap old tires. 8 laps ago was when he last pit, and it looks like right now he made the money stop to get out ahead of everybody else. But he's still got to make up a 10-second gap, which is possible. But then he's also got to pass Alonso Chicano, and he's got to make sure he can get that gap down in about 16 laps. So here we go. It's crunch time. We'll see who can get it done, who can finish it off. But right now, I see something here. Behind Alonso Chicano right now, David Durand scored a lap down in 14th. He could do one of two things. He could unlap himself right here, or he could stay as the first car off the lead lap and try to help Chicano get the win tonight. Parker is now up to second. He is currently 8 seconds back of race leader Alonso Chicano with 15 laps to go. So it's gonna be a fight for sure. A full second faster that last lap Parker was compared to Chicano. Chicano trying to stretch it out here to see if he can make it to the end without having to pit.
Yeah, and not too long ago, we were talking about Chicano being in the back of the field. Well, he's trying to make a strategy call here, and you can't blame him. Even if it doesn't work out for a race win, he still could possibly get a top 5 out of this with how spread out the field is.
He is saving. You see David Durand to the inside now, going to unlap himself on his teammate there for Vortex Racing. Or for Radius and Vortex together, they're both the same thing pretty much. But you see the pass made. So now no traffic between Parker and Chicano. It is 6 seconds, almost 7 seconds, the gap with 13 laps to go. And still a second gained this past time by from Parker to Chicano.
Yeah, and I think with the closing rate of Jonathan Parker, there's going to be a point here. I don't know how much Chicano has left, but he's going to have to turn on a light switch here and figure out how to get some sort of speed out of there just to maintain some sort of a gap with how quick Jonathan Parker's closing. Just the rate he's closing, there's not going to be enough time left in this race for Chicano to keep the lead.
The issue isn't the speed, it's the fuel. It's to make it to the end on fuel. That's what Alonso's currently working on trying to do. Once he does that, I think we'll see this 25 pick it up just a little bit more. But also, too, 13 laps since Parker pits. Sooner or later, those tires are going to wear out a little more. And you're going to see that number 81 have to battle a little more and start gaining incrementally less every lap.
Yes, and I'm not seeing a ton of saving coming out of that 25 truck. Still running relatively close to pace of what we've seen guys on older tires run, and not really hearing any clutching coming out of it. So I wonder maybe if he's just running like half throttle around the track, trying to just keep up some momentum while saving some fuel.
Oh, he's absolutely saving fuel. I can tell by his lap times, 32.5s compared to 31.9s and 31.8s from drivers who aren't saving fuel. Alex Kerfin, however, is running the fastest laps on track right now. He is half a second faster than Parker, who is in second right now. So at the rate that Chicano is getting gained on by Parker, Kerfin is also gaining on Parker by about the same gap. So we're about to have two drivers try to interject themselves into this battle for this race lead. Again, another 9/10 of a second faster that time for Parker compared to Chicano. Apparently that doesn't work for the race leader. That's cool to know. But we see Parker's in the background looming. And then not too much further back, Alex Kerfin.
Chicano to pit road.
Oh, there it is. He couldn't make it on fuel. And just like that, with Chicano on pit road, that hands the race lead Jonathan Parker, but it's not over yet. Alex Kerfin's in the background, and he's been running half a second faster every lap. With 9 laps to go, Chicano cannot make the fuel last. It's going to be a battle between Parker and Kerfin for this race win.
And you hate to see that for Chicano. You almost wish that he could have made it work. And even if it didn't, it could have still netted possibly a top 5 finish, again, with how spread out the field was. But Yeah, 81 back out front, but Alex Kerfin closing very fast. 1.1 seconds is the gap. He closed up another 0.6 of a second right there.
Kerfin is hustling. 8 laps to go. Within a second now, Kerfin is coming for the race lead.
But as we noted with this track, it is one thing to catch a driver. It is another thing to pass a driver. That dirty air, once he gets close enough, is going to start affecting the handling of that truck. And you just got to wonder if Jonathan Parker has enough to hold him off, even with him being in the dirt, or Kerfin being in the dirty air.
Kelly past Caldwell, Duran past Moreno, so the positions are swapping around here in the back half of the field as everybody looks to try to get their final spots they can, get as many points and maximize it if they can. Kruger right now is still out on track, 42 laps, so Dalton Kelly has a chance of getting up to 4th at the most if these guys start to run out of fuel here. But here comes a pass for the lead. Alex Kerfin diving to the inside, going to try to make a move on Parker.
Into turn 1, Kerfin to the inside. Parker going to try and hold it on the outside. Oh, it's going to get close here off the corner. They're going to give each other plenty of room, plenty of respect amongst these drivers, battling cleanly for the race win here.
Kerfin to the inside. Parker going to try to run the outside. Can't quite do it. He's going to arc it down to the bottom. Alex Kerfin has taken the race lead away from Jonathan Parker here with just 5 laps to go. Parker going to try to cross him over if he can. Going to try to stay right there with a 30 so he can make a last-ditch effort. Parker now into second. Kerfin back out front. He was leading the majority of this race. He was able to get out front. His last win came in Season 2 at Michigan. So he's definitely looking forward to starting off this chase with a bang. And he'll have 4 laps to go this next time by. Ethan Fonseca Moreno passed for 4th by Zach Probst. Looks like he is slowing up again. Michael Kruger is 6th. Cameron Caldwell and Dalton Kelly continue to battle for that 7th position as they continue to gain on Michael Kruger as well. With 4 laps to go, the gap growing now between Kerfin and Parker. And with lap traffic up ahead, does that play a factor?
And just to highlight something that I know you'll have fun with, Dawson, our buddy Josh Coppernell is in that oh-so-coveted 11th spot currently.
Yeah, but if the gas runs out for some of these guys, he'll get to sneak into that top 10, sadly. But we'll see. You see Kerfin going to send to the inside of Nathan Fuller and put him a lap down. Gutsy move there on a lapper. There you see Andrew Elias on the bottom lane doing Andrew Elias things, as he will lap the 4 of Nathan Fuller with 3 to go. It'll be 2 to go this next time by. Looking at the monitor, Kelly is right there with Kruger, who's right there with Moreno. Moreno is slow still, trying to see if he can make it to the end of this race. Kruger for 5th. Now Kelly to 6th. It looks like Moreno is slow on the track. Down on the bottom, he tried to save as much as he could. He's been 47 laps since he came down pit road. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to hold off any longer. He might have to come and top off, but he's going to try to stretch it for 2 more laps if he can. We'll have to see. Kerfan, though, heading down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. 1.3 seconds is the gap between he and Jonathan Parker.
And as you were talking about the 43 of Ethan Fonseca Moreno, I was watching Michael Kruger and Dalton Kelly battle. Michael Kruger got really loose and almost lost it right in front of Dalton Kelly, and the battle is still on here between the 2 of them for this 5th spot.
White flag is out. The final lap. Alex Kerfin hadn't found victory lane since Michigan all the way back in Season 2. That was all the way back in May. But now, through 3 and 4, he's going to open up the chase here in Season 3 with a victory. To the checkered flag, Alex Kerfin picks up his 3rd career win in the In the Pits News Truck Series, takes the checkered flag here at Chicagoland. Battle for 5th to close it out. Looks like Kruger's going to hang on to it, and he'll take home 5th. Dalton Kelly 6th. And we're going to head back here because he's going to do it. Moreno ran out, and that opened the door. Josh Coppernell with a top 10. Finally. Meanwhile, though, the celebration for Alex Kerfin, who picks up his 3rd career win. And what a time to get your first win of the season.
Absolutely, and that's going to help him out with his point situation here going into the rest of these playoff races. Huge momentum boost and huge advantage to Alex Kerfin here picking up the win.
Yep, the win is huge, especially considering the fact that he was able to overcome race leader and points leader Jonathan Parker to steal the victory. Justin Durand coming home third as well is pretty big as well. Not talked about a lot because he really wasn't anywhere. He was kind of just hidden away for the most part. But walking away with a third place finish for Justin Durand, that will be big in the points for him. Meanwhile, on the opposite end, we see Andrew Elias 15th. To end the day. Alonso Chicano, he brings it home 14th. Just looking through some of these playoff drivers, they made their way to the end. David Duran comes home 12th. Unable to capitalize on a good run here tonight. So first things first, we will show you where everybody finished here tonight. Here in the post-race results tab. There you see Alex Kerfin, your race winner over Jonathan Parker, coming home second. Justin Duran third. Zach Probst in fourth. And Michael Kruger rounding out that top five. There's Dalton Kelly, the other playoff driver to score a top 10 in tonight's event. Only a select few of them also were able to score both stage points and to score a top 10. But then we look, that's the wrong button. That's the button I'm looking for. There we go. Looking through the rest of the field here, there you see Ethan Fonseca Moreno 11th. Couldn't make the fuel last. There's David Duran 12th. Then Nathan Fuller, Alonso Chicano, and then Andrew Elias, Tyler Watermolen, Ryan Bogey, Roy Crump, and Matthew Stotts all out of this race due to accidents. And just like that, that's how this changes. It's all about what happens at these races and how things can shake up. But just like that, we see a big difference in the playoffs here. Now the grid's going to shake up differently. But first things first, let's see if we can get words in with our top three finishers here tonight. First things first, we're going to see if we can get a hold of Justin Duran. Let me see if I can radio him in here. Hey, Justin Duran, this is Dawson Allen in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Alrighty, well, we talked to you at the start of the show, winning last week at Atlanta, and now you come into here, a solid, very quiet third-place finish. What was that race like from your perspective? Just the strategy calls really being what came down to it at the end, but at the end of the night, you were able to make the right call to get you a top three.
Yeah, I was very quick on the long run all night. It became actually difficult to pass on the long run with the dirty air and how much throttle time you'd get. It was great racing there in the back. But if I have a mulligan, it'd probably be for the qualifying lap. I got loose off of 3, that's why I was all the way back there in 18th. I probably had a top 5 qualifying lap there, and I'd have been up there with Alex and Jonathan, especially how good I was on the long run. I mean, I had older tires than a bunch of guys and was running very similar laps, if not faster. That's really what killed me tonight. As far as strategy, that caution that seemed like had split decision. Some guys came in for tires, Alex, Jonathan, leaders mainly. I was one of the ones that stayed out, gave me some track position, and I was able to keep that pace long run good enough for a quiet third place finish, like you mentioned. Still gonna hurt in the points. No stage points, but overall, good night. Always great to see a teammate win, so congrats again, Alex.
Yeah, and teammate winning, of course, and you mentioned the point situation. I think at the end of the day, you lost a little bit of ground. You're unofficially 23 points behind Jonathan Parker at the conclusion of tonight's event, so setting yourself up at least to continue on in a good position. What do you look forward to next week at Bristol, and what is your ideas on what you think will happen and how you can survive and maybe go on to gain some points back here?
It's just gonna be staying out of carnage. Everything happens there so fast. So I mean, if you get a wreck in front of you, track's not that wide, so it's just gonna be staying as clean as you possibly can. Sounds like an oxymoron at Bristol, and I finished second there last season, so hopefully we continue that speed like next weekend.
Well, alrighty. That's Justin Duran, winner last week. Third place to start the chase. Looking to start off strong here and make his run for the championship start off well. Congratulations, Justin.
Appreciate it.
And with that, we'll send it to Jonathan Canfield, who is with our second place finisher, or at least looking to see if we can get second place finisher. It looks like he is not here. So instead, what do you say you talk to our fourth place finisher, our Dash for Cash winner, Zach Probst?
Absolutely, and I've caught up with him here. Zach Probst, you got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
All right, well, you brought it home fourth, and you're the Dash for Cash winner tonight. So go ahead, walk us through that race, and it looks like you played a little strategy there towards the end with going the long run.
Yeah, the first stage I was really just trying to see how passing was. Really found out there that if you saved, you were not going to be able to make up your spots. So I thought that was going to play into it, but we got that caution like lap 50, and that allowed me to pit and be good enough to do one stop. And I was just hoping I could save enough on through the two runs that I could make it.
Well, and you get the Dash for Cash tonight. So what's your plans looking at next week? What are you looking forward to with next week?
Next week's like Bristol, right? I think. It's going to be a pretty good race. Hopefully we don't get too many cautions. I know Bristol tends to cause that with layout. Usually I'm pretty good there. Just hopefully I can back this fourth place up with a better finish then.
Well, and like you said, you want to back it up and do better next week. Who gets it done for you over there in the 62 camp and helps you get fourth place here tonight?
I'd like to thank Kruger and Fuller for being in chat all race, helping me out with fuel strategy. Really helped me to hear what their fuel number is.
All right, and that will be our fourth place finisher here tonight and Dash for Cash winner, Zach Probst.
And while you're down there, Jonathan, I believe you've also caught up with our 10th place finisher, one Josh Coppernoll.
Indeed, I have. Mr. Josh Hoppernall, do you have a copy?
I do.
All right, well, we thought you were going to finish in 11th again, the also coveted 11th, but you bring it home with top 10 here tonight. Go ahead, walk us through how your race went there. And you as well. It seemed like you were pulling the strategy of Zach Probst there for a while, but go ahead and tell us how your race went for you.
Yeah, real quick, I want to call out Zach Probst because he was just in here having an interview, and he said he wanted to thank Mikey and Nathan for being in chat with him. I was also in chat with him, giving him numbers, so I don't know why he forgot me. So Zach, what's up? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, they were. I mean, honestly, they were great to work with. Unfortunately, it was the wrong end of the strategy for us, but it was still. I mean, 10th place, I'll take it. It's not 11th. I was starting to think I was going to finish 11th once again, but yeah, it was tough. It was tough to save and relying on Mikey and Nathan and Zach too onto what their numbers were. Just kind of really helping me on where I needed to be at for my fuel. Actually, when I did come down for my last stop, I ran out of gas in my box. So it was a little bit slow because I had to get the truck back on. But yeah, it was a crazy race out there. Awesome, clean race. Really made you think about what to do.
Looking forward to next week. We go to Bristol and, great Coliseum there. What do you think you've got for it?
I personally really like Bristol, driving on it. It seems to suit me a lot better, and I have some changes that I've done to my setup that I'm hoping will really come into play and help me out a little bit better at Bristol. It is a track where it relies more on getting through the corner, braking a little bit. So it's not going to be just flat out the entire time like you can do here at mile and a half, like Chicagoland, Las Vegas last week. Michigan we saw recently as well. So a little bit different. I'm kind of looking forward to that and seeing what I've got against these guys.
Well, and final thing before we let you go, any shout outs you got to give out and anybody who helped get it done for you in the 42 camp?
Happy birthday, Michael Kruger. 22 today. He's an awesome teammate, awesome friend. I'm glad to have him part of the team. Nathan and Zach working with them. They're not a part of my team, but still working with them today. JCTV, you guys, for what you guys do. 988 Suicide Prevention and Awareness. They're not a sponsor or anything, but they are the entitlement sponsor today because I decide to do that. So, there's help if you need it, definitely. Cam, Alonzo, putting on this awesome series, and all the fans, drivers that make this thing happen.
Absolutely, and we hope to see you build off the momentum, finally breaking into the top 10 here tonight, and we hope to see just as good or better next week for you. 10th place finisher, Joshua Coppernell.
And with that, let's see if we can get a hold of our race winner here tonight, Alex Kerfin. Hey, Alex, this is Dawson up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Alrighty, well, it came down to a strategy call at the end of it, but you were able to make the right move, make the right stop, and get to victory lane. First off, congratulations.
Yeah, it's a long time coming. It feels great to finally be back in victory lane for sure.
Yeah, it's been all the way since Season 2 at Michigan, the last time you were in victory lane here in the In the Pits News Truck Series. But take us through that call there. That final set of stops there, you were able to make the stop later than everybody else, and were doing the best, of everybody that could. You stretched it out pretty long there ahead of those guys that were trying to save. What was going through your mind? Did you think maybe they had a chance to try and make it to the end, or were you not concerned about the 62 and everybody behind him?
So, when the caution came out shortly after our stage 1 restart, I noticed that our fuel run was only going to make it to about lap 99-ish, and I knew that we're going to have to make another stop at that point, even if we tried our best at saving. So I decided that I was going to split it right there and then, try to get the jump on Parker and get some position on him, and getting out in front in the clean air definitely was the difference today. It was huge difference. Being in that dirty air, you're destroying your right front tire. You're using it up so hard. Very hard to pass in the dirty air. And when I was finally able to get past Parker there at the end, I felt the difference. I was able to sail away and noticed that he was probably struggling a little bit with his tires at that point, but the dirty air definitely didn't help. But yeah, that strategy call is definitely probably what won me the race today.
Well, opening up this chase here with a win, it's not able to fully leapfrog you anywhere. You jump to 4th in the standings now. You are currently unofficially 29 points behind our championship leader, Jonathan Parker. Do you think this momentum is what you're going to be able to build off of to be able to go forward and make this hunt for the championship that much better?
Yeah, so definitely a big confidence boost. I definitely needed that after the season I've had. Definitely felt like I could have had 1 or 2 more wins this season under my belt if I would have kept my cool in the situation, or maybe didn't have as much bad luck at the super speedways. But things happen, and I'm just glad I'm able to bounce back from that, and hopefully I can build off this momentum and take it to the next week and take it to everyone else.
Well, already heading into Bristol on a momentum wave with the win here at Chicago. Congrats again to Alex Kerfin, our winner here, for his 3rd career win at Chicago.
Thank you. I'd like to thank my parents for watching. Thank all my friends and family. Thank Kirpan's Blue Collar Market for great truck, great sponsor.
I'd like to thank Cameron Caldwell for making this a great scheme. I'd like to thank Cameron Caldwell and Alonso for running this great league. Thanks everyone for the great race, and thank you guys for a great broadcast.
Alrighty, that is your race winner, Alex Kerfin, starting off strong here to open the chase.
Thank you.
And that will do it for that. So while we mentioned the points, of course, this is all unofficial. This is all unofficial. Nothing about this is saying that this is the actual point standing. This is just based on my math as it goes throughout the race. I've got spreadsheets and everything pulled up that's supposed to calculate this stuff. So right here is your current point standings after tonight's race. Jonathan Parker still holds the points lead. Now an 18-point gap between he and Michael Kruger. Justin Rand stays in that third position, now 23 points behind. The only person that really gained anything tonight is Alex Kerfin, because he stays even at 29 down, but now he goes from 7th to 4th in the point standings following the win tonight. You see David Duran 5th is down 34. Dalton Kelly is back 37 points. Alonso Chicano, Ryan Bogey, Andrew Elias, and Matthew Stotts all having terrible finishes tonight. All outside that top 10, right around that top 15 spot. That puts Chicano down 43. Bogey down 49, Elias down 51, and Matthew Stotts down 57. A very deep hole that they are going to have to climb out of tonight, or throughout the rest of these weeks here. So, John, what were your thoughts on that race? What did you see from up here in the booth?
I saw a lot of drivers just putting on a really good show of some strategy. I mean, I don't think either you or I would have said that we'd see drivers up there in the top 5, top 10 even, trying to stretch their fuel as much as they did and finishing in the top 5 and the top 10. I mean, huge credit going to Zach Probst, really the highest finishing guy on that strategy, finishing 4th and coming away with the dash for cash. But huge credit to the winner of our race today, Alex Kerfin, making the money stop when it counted. We thought it was going to be Jonathan Parker, but he was able to overcome the gap and run down a driver that's been very dominant this season and come away with a great result and a great amount of momentum going into next week and the rest of this playoff chase.
Yeah, and you mentioned, you made the mention of Zach Probst and a dash for cash. So something that we need to explain, because obviously it wasn't explained at the start of the broadcast, that's on me. So the dash for cash is for all drivers that are not in the championship hunt. Those chase drivers that are ineligible to chase for a championship, they are essentially in this new battle that we have. So drivers that have made 5 starts in the regular season are eligible for this, and it's the highest finishing driver of each race that is not a playoff driver gets $15. And this goes on for the next 4 races. And then at the final race, the championship race at Kansas, we will have a pseudo championship battle for the dash for cash. So the highest finishing non-playoff driver gets those $15, and they also get an auto bid into that championship 4 race. And what we'll do is we'll have those 4 drivers at Chicago, Bristol, Homestead, and Martinsville. They will race for a $100 grand prize. And if there's a repeat winner, so if Zach Probst wins again next week at Bristol, that auto bid goes to the next person in line, if that makes any sense. So we're going to have more to race for besides just racing for a championship. We got some cash on the line for some of these guys that aren't racing for a championship, so it should be fun to keep tabs on that. But of course, Zach Probst, the first winner here in this chase for the In the Pits News Cup. But with that, that will do it for tonight's broadcast. Unfortunately, we didn't have Brett Bennett to mock and make fun of. He is currently out at the Rolex 24. Him and Brian C. Smith, along with some of our other competitors and some of our other members of this league, they're out having a good time, so we wish them all the best. But with that, that will conclude coverage of tonight's 988 Suicide Hotline 225 at Chicagoland. We saw a heck of a race, that's for sure. It was a fun, chaotic one there, and it all led up to a pit strategy call that netted a win for Alex Kerfin for his 3rd career win in the In the Pits News Truck Series. Next week, we head to Bristol Motor Speedway, where these drivers will do battle in the last great Coliseum. Of course, coming up elsewise on JCTV, you've got the Slide Job Racing League with the duels happening on Tuesday night. And then next Friday night, we've got NAOR. We've got a lot of great action throughout this week as well on JCTV. You don't want to miss any of it. For Jonathan Canfield and Josh Coppernoll, this is Dawson Allen signing off for the night, saying so long. Have a great rest of your night.